we are talking all about what content does best on Pinterest, because I think this is the question I get asked the most. Well, I get a lot of questions asked, but this is one I do get asked a lot by folks. And really, I understand the question and I appreciate the question because you are spending so much time creating content and you want to make sure that you're using your time on different platforms wisely and doing the quote unquote best job that you can do on each of those platforms to ultimately book your ideal client, right? Like that's the goal. And so today I'm going to talk to you about the type of things that you should put on Pinterest that your ideal client will actually click and potentially become a client, because that's the thing, right? We can create all kinds of content on Pinterest, but if it's not the right kind of content, it may not be moving our business forward and we could be wasting time, and I don't want anybody to waste time. So let me start by talking about the two different types of content that are on Pinterest. I feel like this is sort of a basic area to start, and it really helps my clients to understand why, right? So people come to Pinterest for two types of content. Inspiring content. This is inspiring, inspirational. It is really like motivational, quotes and beautiful wedding images. These are all very inspiring. The second type of content, which is the content that we're going to focus on today, you might guess, is action taking, solving a problem, or teaching how-to based content. I love how-to based content. And the reason why I love how-to based content and the reason why I do these types of rooms is because it is really targeted to helping people in whatever area that you're an expert in, but also getting them to potentially work with you. Right? And so these are the two different kinds of content. I'm going to describe how they work on Pinterest. And then I'm going to go ahead and get into some details so that I can, because people are all, yeah, that's great. Explain it to me, like give me more details. So I'm going to do that. So inspiring and aspirational type of content results in high impressions, high saves, very low clicks, few, if any, sales, and a really high bounce rate. Bounce rate meaning they click, they go off onto the content, it's not what they want, and they come right back to Pinterest, and it signals to Pinterest that it's a high bounce rate. Same is true for Google. If they're in a Google search and they go to your website and it's not what they anticipated from the text that they read on Google search, then they're going to go back to Google and it signals to Google that it's a high bounce rate. It may not be valuable information, even if you write the most amazing content. Action taking, solving a problem, or teaching how-to based content results in moderate impressions and saves, moderate clicks, high, very high for email subscriptions, and you'll have to visit your link to take further action because the image itself isn't giving you that information. Now, if it's an idea pin that doesn't have a link, then that action is to click on your profile and potentially follow you or click on your website. So how-to information is the way that we should go as wedding pros, period, the end. And I will touch on like wedding photos in general and how you can use them on Pinterest, but I'm really focused on the content that's going to get you clients. So here's the problem for wedding pros in particular. Don't want to pick on y'all, but I am a wedding pro. And so this is the problem that I ran into. A lot of wedding pros want to share as a photographer, our gorgeous images, or the photographer's images that capture what we did for the wedding invitations, wedding rings, wedding dresses. But those photos are they're like, oh my God, they're gorgeous. They make my product look so good. And you want to share them all over Pinterest. And I'm not telling you not to. We'll just discuss that in a little bit. But what I do want to say is for the sake of actually utilizing Pinterest as a marketing funnel, which is how we should all be using it, we don't just want to use our photos. Because what happens is those are inspirational or aspirational or idea generating photos and they're not clicking on them, right? And let's be really honest and get down in deep. Our photos get stuck on a 16-year-old's future wedding board. It just happens, right? My daughter's 21. She has one and she's nowhere near getting married. So this is just sort of what happens with inspiration or aspirational or I want that look type of photos. So our potential clients or pinners are looking for inspiration when they're planning their wedding and to be inspired and to take those images and copy them and DIY them or use them as inspiration to show our photographer that we already hired the type of photos we want, but they're not really gonna hire us. Right? That's just not what gets them to want to hire you. Yes, they're great images. And great images on Instagram may lead to being hired, and great information or great images on Pinterest may lead to being hired as well. But it's rare, it's not as often. So if your whole strategy on Pinterest has been to just pin all the gorgeous photos you get from your photographer, you might be missing the boat just a little bit, or a lot in this case. So if they were searching for boho bridal look, right? It would be to get ideas for their wedding hair and makeup board, not to actually take action to book you. You and your photographer's gorgeous images are not inspiring them to look at your website or Instagram or contact you or hire you. They're inspiring them for the way that they want their wedding to look. To fix that, you want to pin content that solves a problem, that encourages them to take action and finds out that they can actually work with you. Because a lot of people see a gorgeous image on Pinterest and they assume they can't hire you. I don't know why, but it is just the way that happens. So for an example, you would want to say, instead of gorgeous bridal boho looks, you might say 5 ways to get that boho bridal look. And then you have all your gorgeous images, right, on a blog post. Or 3 of my favorite wedding beauty pros who creates boho looks, or my favorite boho looks, something like that, right? This will spur them to actually click and find out more. Now let's take it a step further. Let's dive even deeper. And this is the secret that I share with my clients that will actually get you clients on Pinterest. You want to say, especially as a wedding pro, a service-based business located in a particular area, you'll want to say 5 ways to get that boho bridal look in the Bay Area, or in San Jose, or in Northern California, or in California if you photograph or you do weddings up and down California, right? If you're a wedding wedding invitation person, you don't have to worry so much about the specific words, but I'll tell you, you might consider using them in certain areas and do the areas that you want to have more work in, right? Or something like that. But if you're service-based, you want to use all the names for your area, whether that's a city or town or what have you. But the bottom line is that you want to present your content as a solution, that you're literally fixing their problem and enabling them, encouraging them, or FOMOing them to take action, right? Because they see this gorgeous photo and they go, oh my God, it's in the Bay Area. Oh my goodness, I could actually hire them if they can afford you. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But at least you're getting that information. And the first step people take after this is to typically go to Instagram and make sure you're a real person. So make sure your Instagram profile says all the right things, have all the right keywords, and all of the inspiration that you have obviously also on Pinterest. Make sure that it's really simple and easy to see how they can contact you, either your phone or a message or what have you, or Instagram automation, however you want to work it. But make sure that Instagram profile is ready to receive people, right? The bottom line is present your content as a solution, and present your content as a solution rather than inspiration. Make sure that you do it in a way that keywords what your specific ideal client is going to be typing in that search bar. If your content is action-based, you'll be way more successful on Pinterest. And this is why Pinterest experts like myself tell you to have text overlay. As a wedding photographer, I did not understand that a billion years ago when I first got into Pinterest when it was brand new. I would never put anything on my images, right? Like, it's sacrilegious. It's beautiful image. Why am I going to put text all over them? So what I always say is to have a blog post that have all these beautiful, gorgeous images of the wedding that you just did, or the 5 ways to get a bridal boho look, or whatever it is, but then also create like 3 to 5 totally different pins with totally different images that have the text overlay that tells them 5 ways to get that boho bridal look, or 3 of my favorite Bay Area wedding beauty pros. And when you do that, what you're going to do is you're going to have people that are searching on Pinterest, looking at all that inspo and all the beautiful images, and they're going to go, oh my God, I can, a boho look, that's what I want. And then click on it, find out more, possibly contact you, and possibly book you. So we want to be very specific that we are solving a problem, giving action-based content, and really using that text overlay, which kills us on a regular basis. And in the text overlay, make sure you're using those keywords on the area that you serve, or whatever your ideal client is going to be typing in that search bar. And you can still pin inspiration photos. Absolutely do it. I will pin those 3 to 5 different pins I've actually created, right, on Pinterest. In addition, I will pin all the photos I have on my blog post also to Pinterest. So I'm getting all the people that are looking for inspiration, excuse me, and I'm also getting people that are going to take action. So when you're creating content, you want to create at least a few pins that have that text overlay, because only pinning inspiration photos is not going to get you like the result you want, which is to actually book clients. It's the best way is to pin things on Instagram or Pinterest, or better yet, pin from a blog. You can pin stuff from your Instagram over to Pinterest. It's totally fine. But you want the action-based pins are the ones that are going to probably get you some clients. So now I'm going to go ahead and take some, excuse me, some questions. So I did see some questions here on Instagram. If you have questions on Clubhouse, raise your hand, I'll pull you up. So a question is, what is the best way to post onto Pinterest? Through Pinterest itself, or from IG to Pinterest, etc.? Great question. And this is, she identified that it's to get seen. Great question. All of those images that you put on like quotes do incredibly well on Pinterest. They'll typically love the quote and save it, but if they don't, they might click on it, then they'll go to your Instagram. The other thing that I love is reels or carousels that teach something, like in this case, the 3 of my favorite Bay Area wedding pros. You can have a slide that shows that Bay Area wedding pro that you love, the 3 people slides, and at the end saying, follow for more tips, or whatever you like to do on your carousels. That is an incredible thing to go ahead and pin over to Pinterest. Directly from Pinterest in your cell phone is the way that I say that it's best to be used. When you're pinning your action-based with the text overlay type of pins, pin directly in Pinterest, and you can spread those pins onto a few boards that actually are about that content over time. You can pin through Pinterest up to 2 weeks. Or if you are advanced or you have a blog or something like that, you can also do it through like Tailwind or Buffer or any approved third-party vendors. If they're approved by Pinterest, you will not see a difference by doing each. They're approved because they're going to get views, right? And they know when to pin better than we do. So for me, I like Tailwind, but that's just me. Let's see if we have any other things for the hearts, you guys. I don't think we have any other questions there. Do we have any other questions on Clubhouse? Because if not, this is a short room and I'll go ahead and stop it. But I think we might be done. All right, guys, I hope that you have a great day today. Oh, thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. I will be here the same time next week. I have guests that come on. I also do these little short training pieces, and they're interspersed. You can go on to Clubhouse, or you can go ahead and be right here on Instagram. Either way, you'll find me. And if you have any questions that are specific to you and or you don't feel comfortable asking them, please, please, please send me a DM. I'm super friendly. I will not bite, or at least not that hard, and I will answer all of those questions for you. All right. I hope you guys have a great